How to set work position 0 using a 3-axis touch probe and manually on a CNC powered by the Redline CNC controller. When on the main screen of the Redline HMI, to manually 0, you will use the jog buttons located here. Use the jog buttons to jog to the location of where you want your 0 to be. In this example, we are using the lower left corner and the surface of the material. Once at that location in the X and in the Y, here at the top is where you're going to 0 your work positions. Click these buttons that look like little targets to 0 the X axis and the Y axis. For the Z, lower the spindle until the tip of the bit is just barely touching the material surface. Then click the target button for the Z to 0 the Z axis. Now all of your axes are zeroed and you have manually created a work position. You can verify your work position by first clicking the Go to Z0 button to move the spindle to a safe height. Here we have two different positions, machine position and work position. Work position will move the spindle to the work position you set. Machine position will move the spindle to the home position. Clicking Machine 0 will bring us to Home 0, which will raise the spindle to its highest point. Then jog the machine around using the jog buttons to move away from the Machine 0 you just set. The button in the center of XY jogging is the Go to XY0 button. Click this button. Same thing here. Machine position is the XY home position. We want to check XY work position. Click XY work position. This will move the spindle to the XY work position we set. Then click the Z work position. This will lower the spindle to the material surface or spoil board, whichever you probed from. This is manually zeroing X, Y, and Z axes. To probe X, Y, and Z, click the Probe tab on the main screen. Click Probe XYZ. This will start a wizard that will walk you through the process. First, set up your probe block. In this example, we will set up on the lower left corner of the workpiece. Now jog the tool using the jog buttons to the probe target, which is that little circle in the upper right corner of the probe block. Once in that location and above the target, click the Next button. After connecting your probe magnet, touch the probe block to the tool. The skip button will change to green and now read Start Probing, indicating that there is a positive connection between the probe block and the tool. Click Start Probing. Choose the diameter of the bit that you're using to probe. In this example, it's a 1/4 inch bit. Click the Next button. The bit will touch the Z, then X, then Y axes 2 times each, 1 time fast and 1 time slow. Probing is now complete. You can now remove the magnet and probe block and continue with your project. To probe for Z only on the main screen, click the Probe tab. Click Probe Z. Again, this will start a wizard that will walk you through the process. Very important that when setting up your probe block for just Z, put the block upside down in the location you want to probe for Z. Move around if needed by using the jog buttons or moving your probe block. Once centered on the probe block, click Next. After the magnet has been connected, touch the probe block to the tool. The skip button will change to green and now read Start Probing, indicating that there is a positive connection between the probe block and tool. Click Start Probing. The spindle will lower, touching the bit to the probe block 2 times, 1 time fast and 1 time slow. Probing is complete. You can now remove the magnet and probe block and continue with your project.